Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Frenemies, joined as always by David Swor, who is Michael Scarn tonight in his Zoom name there.
Level midnight.
We are coming to you live from West Virginia, Chicago, and joined tonight by the famous Jimmy Gilbert. And Jimmy, it's awesome to have you, man. We've been talking all week, me, you, and David. It's been a lot of fun. You guys are like two of my best friends in the entire world. And it's awesome to have both of you on here tonight to talk some baseball. And welcome, buddy.
I love it. Thank you. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. So we are always going to kick off with our updates of our favorite teams. And we're going to have to start with you tonight, David, because that's just what we got to do, man. I'm not ready for what I got to say yet. So we'll kick it off to you, David. Tell us how the Yankees did this week in the Field of Dreams game.
So DJ, it's been a couple weeks since we had an episode, and the Yankees have stayed hot. You know, ever since the trade deadline, and actually even a little bit before, been pretty hot. They've actually won 11 of their last 12 series. The schedule has been very kind post All-Star break. We've played the Orioles, the Royals, the Mariners, the White Sox, and of course the Angels tonight. And we just keep winning series. So tonight, 2-1 game. And it's really crazy. If you're a Yankee fan out there, this team is so frustrating. One thing that's happened here in the last couple of weeks, we had a COVID outbreak from a bunch of vaccinated players, which is pretty crazy. So we lost Garrett Cole, Anthony Rizzo, Gary Sanchez, Jordan Montgomery. Gio Urshela went down with a hamstring injury. Chapman went down with an elbow. I mean, we could just keep going on and on forever just about things that have went on this year, but somehow they keep winning. I was telling DJ off air, you know, it's easy to criticize Boone for some of these bullpen moves and such, but they keep pulling it out. And DJ, as we've talked about, the bullpen is a complete dumpster fire right now with no Chapman. Zach Britton's a mess. I mean, again, we could just keep going on and on, but the Yankees keep winning. One of the biggest things that's come out of this, I don't know if you guys have seen this dude pitch, Nestor Cortez. If you haven't seen him pitch, go YouTube it. I love it. He barely breaks 90, switches up his delivery, throws sidearm, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And the dude has been lights out. I don't know if you guys remember Aaron Small from like 2005. He's the second coming. He's got a great stash. So go check out some Nestor Cortez. But the Yankees keep winning. That led us into the Field of Dream game, which I guess we can talk about that a little bit. I mean, what a win for Major League Baseball. I think we can all agree on that. I hated the way that game turned out. But, you know, just to put it in perspective a little bit, maybe how little I see it. You know, I've got two little guys who love baseball. My daughter, just to be honest with you, I'd planned to cut grass that evening. My daughter comes running in at dinner time and says, "Daddy, tonight's the Field of Dreams game, and I want to sit down and watch every pitch." So from that point forward, it's like we're watching that game. But
Nice.
Crazy game. The Yankees got way behind early. The ghost of Andrew Heaney, pitched and got shelled. I think the Yankees were down 4 or 5 at one point. I thought game over. They can't come back because the Yankees haven't been able to hit all year. But Aaron Judge decided to put him on his back, and Giancarlo Stanton put him ahead with a go-ahead homer, only to have it given up the next inning in about 6 pitches by Zach Britton. But, man, just an awesome game. You know, awesome ending. Just everything about it I thought was cool. What did you guys think about it?
Jimmy, I'm going to throw this one to you. What did you think of that game?
Amazing. I mean, it was legendary. I mean, it was just something, you know, especially just that 9th inning. And all the bombs to right field. I don't know, what was like 280 fence out there or something like that. It's like they were just hitting just the home runs and just the dramatic, just the home runs by Judge and Stanton to get it to that 9th, and then the walk off by Timmy Anderson was just. And he knew it, and he flashed. He did his thing, you know, and it was, I don't know what the ratings or whatever, but it was huge for baseball, no doubt. And you know, just having like we were talking about having your kids watch that game. Our kids are all pumped up about that game, and you know, it's kind of neat having your kids watch baseball. And what's really neat is to see players that when we were younger, to see their kids now playing like Tatis and Junior and Guerrero and Biggio and Bichette, and it's like crazy. It's like, oh wait, I remember their dads, But just I think baseball's in a great spot, man, and that game is just really kind of like the highlight of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I got chills when Costner went on the field, and I didn't know what he was doing at first when he was kind of looking around, and then all of a sudden, all the players come walking out of the corn. I honestly got chills. Like, that was unbelievable to see all those guys come out like that. Was amazing. They nailed it, man. They really did. Like, having people at the other field while the game was going on. My family, we all went there to the Field of Dreams back in March to kind of give it more of a perspective of what it actually meant to watch that game. I think that helped a ton for me because you actually know exactly what it all looks like and what it's all about. And if you guys haven't got to the Field of Dreams yet, and Jimmy, you're a lot closer than David is, man, you guys have to take your kids there. Trust me, it'll be worth it. It's worth every second that you're there. And to combine that with a maze in between of them, the two of them, and the new park, it was awesome. I'd never seen the new field until the game came on. They nailed it, man. The fence in the outfield wall with chain link, and you could see the corn. That was a great touch. Jimmy, I don't know if you guys got hit by the storms that went through last week through the Midwest. We got nailed by some really bad thunderstorms, and we're still kind of cleaning up here from them. But Iowa got the same one because it comes our direction from there. And the corn stalks actually were knocked over from those storms, and they literally spent a ton of time fixing those stalks to make them straight up again to get the look back. They put so much detail into this. The outfield scoreboard was amazing. Having Kevin Costner, like I said, there was awesome. Just really cool, man. And breaking news tonight, as I was just talking to you guys before, Jimmy, our teams are in this one next year, the Reds versus the Cubs. So that's going to be even more amazing. But I thought it was
all right. Let's go.
I thought, yeah, no doubt, man. We'll hide in the corner or something or whatever. But so, David, I got to add to your Yankees a little bit here too. One of the things I want to kind of talk to you about, Zach Britton actually went to Boone and said, I don't want to close anymore. What's your feelings about that when a player goes to a manager and says he doesn't want a specific role that a manager wants him to have?
Well, I would have trusted my player and not had him try to close the next night. This is where Aaron Boone just drives me crazy. The next night, the game goes into the 10th, bullpen blows it, and out trots Zach Britton to close it down. It's just like, what are you doing? I can relate a little bit. I don't mind that, to be honest with you. Just tell me the truth. I'd rather you tell me the truth than to be lobbying for something you knew you couldn't do. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks to have a major league player say, look, man, I just don't have it right now. But I appreciate him being honest. I mean, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do. I was kind of thinking about this too before I asked you this question, kind of what I thought about it too. When you don't have the confidence to do that role, you're only going to hurt your team. I think, you don't want any of your players coming up to you and saying, I can't play second base or I can't play the right field, because maybe that's the only place that if you want to start that you can play, But at the same time, I think that, if their confidence is shot in their ability, I mean, at least they're being honest with you, and maybe that's a conversation you have with the manager and try to decide a different thing. And if you both agree on it and you think it's best for a team, then I'm fine with that. But I just don't like that players demanding stuff like that. And I don't think he did that. I just think he said, maybe I'm not for this role anymore.
I just think he sees where they're at. They're in a playoff race. They can't afford to keep losing. And, he just hasn't had it all year. I don't know why. I mean, he was injured part of the year, and he just hasn't had it. And so Boone did the right thing tonight. They literally brought him in for one batter. That's what his role should be right now. His sixth inning, Garrett Cole was out of gas. They brought him in for one batter. I don't know why Boone did that. Again, it's easy to criticize him, in hindsight, but I mean, the guy just told you the night before, look, man, I can't find it. I just don't have it. And they bring him in the same situation. They have to bring in Albert Abreu to bail him out, which he did. It's a miracle. He walked 2 guys just right out of the gate. So like I said, I appreciate that of a player. I don't, it's easy to look at it and say, what a wuss, you're getting paid $14 million. You just do what you're told. But in a playoff race, I'd just rather, know how you really feel.
And one of the things that I'm kind of bummed about, and I know obviously being a big fan of Anthony Rizzo, what a terrible time to go out to, missing the Field of Dreams game. I mean, this is something that you wanted to be a part of, no doubt, and he got it taken away from him, and it's a shame. All the guys that are on the list right now for the Yankees, it's a bummer. I really do feel like absolutely terrible for them because, I mean, to be a part of that game, those guys that did it the first time are going to be remembered. Let's be honest. This was the most watched regular season game since 2005, and I looked up who the teams were that played in 2005 that had the same ratings. It was the Yankees versus the Red Sox on October 1st. That must have been a game that determined something with the playoffs there for it to be watched that much. But that's the biggest game since 2005 as far as ratings go. Unbelievable, man. Like I said before, just totally enjoyed it. And like you guys said, when your kids, like even my kids, were wanting to watch it, and when they sit down and watch baseball with you, I mean, that's what it's all about. So, Jimmy, did you have anything to add on the Yankees, bud?
Just the closer situation. I would say in that situation, confidence. That's the number one position where confidence. You have to be ready to go out there and do it. And if a guy's telling me, if he's giving me even a slight hint that he can't do it, there's no way I'm putting him in there to close a game. And I respect the guy saying I can't do it. But I would say if I'm Aaron Boone, there's no way I would throw him out there in that position again, unless, I mean, this is crunch time. So confidence is a big issue right there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's a good point. And it's a mess. And if the Yankees, they had a good bullpen game tonight against the Angels, winning 2-1, got a good save there by Chad Green. So, they got to find it. If Chapman can't come back, and if they just got to figure this out, because it's been their biggest problem, and it's been the Reds' biggest problem too. And we'll get into that a little bit later here too. But bullpens are huge, man. And I heard one of the announcers the other day say, ninth inning is different. Outs 25, 26, and 27 are different than outs 21, 22. They just are. I don't know why that is, and you wouldn't think it really is that way, but look what happened in the Field of Dreams game. Just stuff like that happens all the time in the ninth inning. So if you don't have a guy at the end there, you're in deep trouble. So transitioning now to my Cubbies.
Yes.
Man. I got a few things to talk about a little bit with the Cubs. I'm not going game by game breakdown on too much of them because that would be a waste of everyone's time. From August 1st until August 16th is where we're currently at right now. They have lost every single game this month except for one. They beat the Rockies 3-2. As we sit right now, it's 12-5 against the Reds. They're getting demolished. I think the Reds are just throwing their last pitchers out there. They might even have position players out there throwing because they know they got this game won already. So, but that is a thing, Jimmy. The Cubs got 5 runs off of your bullpen here in the 8th. So it's a problem for the Reds, and we'll get to that in a minute. But no, I did want to talk about Jake Arrieta for a second. This is kind of where I wanted to go with the Cubs update since they've been so bad. We lost another player, David. Hits keep coming, man. Jake Arrieta just got released by the Cubs. 5-11 this year with a 6.88 ERA, which obviously is not good. He started the year really well. The first month of the season, the Cubs were on fire. He was on fire. He fizzled out, and the Cubs went a little bit longer, and then they fizzled out. So he's got a negative 2.1 WAR this year, which is probably really hard to do. 35 years old. Just got signed by the Padres tonight, though. That just happened. There was some rumors earlier in the day that might happen, and they did sign him, and he will start in a few more days for the Padres. And it's kind of funny, Jimmy, that I talked to this about David a little bit. Yu Darvish and Jake Arrieta are kind of linked together because the Cubs had to choose which one they wanted to sign out of the two. They chose Yu Darvish, and then they traded Yu Darvish and got Jake Arrieta back. and now they drop Jake Arrieta, and he goes and plays with Darvish again. So it's been crazy how those two have been connected over the years together with Cubs fans, and now they're both on the Padres. I wish them nothing but the best, obviously. I'll tell you what, I was in Minnesota this week for vacation, and we were watching a Dodgers game at the end of one of our long days, and it cut to the Cubs Brewers because the Dodgers went into a rain delay, and Jake Arrieta was on the mound in the first inning, and man, he was just getting lit up, and the Brewers got him for 7 runs in that first inning, and he ended up getting cut after that game. And it's sad, man. It's really hard to see him go out like that as a Cub, but just being honest, he'll never be forgotten because of what he did in 2015 and 16 for the Cubs. And yeah, so we were swept by the White Sox, the Brewers, and the Marlins, and we're about to get swept by the Reds. So that's fun. So bring it on. Who wants to bring it first?
Well, there's just something I can add, DJ. Like I said off air, this is like my dream season. If the Yankees would win the World Series, this would definitely be my dream season. All your players go to all the teams you hate, and then they lose 12 straight. How could you get any better than that? I'll just leave it.
Wow. Go ahead, Jimmy. Keep the shots coming, buddy.
Well, I was listening to the show before the trade deadline.
Yes, those were the best.
And I wrote down a quote by you, DJ, and you can look it up if you want. This is word for word on July 27th. You said, "We are no longer that team that is going to blow it up." So I don't know if you know what you're talking about, DJ, because they blew it up. And so losing 11 straight, 12 straight, 10 and 36 now in their last 46 games. I think that's hard to do. And I was looking at the standings. I was wondering, are they the worst team in baseball? I would say Baltimore, maybe. Baltimore's lost 11 in a row. Baltimore, Chicago. They, just a little while ago when we went to a series not too long ago, and they were playing the Reds, and it was neck and neck, but then it's falling apart. And frankly, it's a good thing to see, man. I love it. It's good for baseball.
Jimmy, I wish I could read one of these days. We need to take a whole episode, and I'll just read DJ's text of denial the whole month leading up to the trade. It was like, there's no way they're going to blow it up. Why would they do that? We should be buying. And the whole time it's like, DJ, they're not going to win, dude. They're selling. They don't have good enough pitching, this and that. And like I said, the trade deadline day was the best day of my life. DJ didn't hear any texts. Nicole had to text me. She was taking his picture and sending it to me. It was awesome.
Yeah, I got to see those. I need to see those pics, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And, I do disagree with DJ in that episode. He was talking about how the Cubs are contenders year after year. They're here to stay. They had one good year in the last 108.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
oh wow.
But it's all good. It's all good. Hey, they scored 5 runs tonight in the 8th inning. It's impressive.
Hey, the Cubs are going to be really good in 2026. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's looking that way, but they blew it up and they're blowing up literally. So,
well, Frank Schwindel is playing first base, and Sergio Alcantara is our shortstop, and Austin Romine's our catcher. And hey, you know what was kind of cool? Andrew Romine came in and pitched the other day to his brother Austin. That's the first time that's happened in 50 years. So there's something fun. I mean, that keeps Cubs fans watching, right?
Put that in the record books. Yeah, there you go. You're setting all kinds of records this year.
Yeah, how about it, man? I mean, he's a shortstop, but we needed to throw him in there because it was 17-0 at the time. So it was like a Tennessee versus Tennessee Temple game right there against that team the other day, David. That was bad.
Well, they give up 11 runs the other day to the Marlins in the second inning or something like that. Giving up 11 runs in one inning that's impressive. A lot of records.
I'll tell you guys all the time though, the Marlins, man, I do not know. If we would have had all the boys and we played the Marlins in that series, we'd have still lost all three against them. They just don't beat the Marlins for some reason. But it could be me at shortstop or it could be Javi Baez at shortstop. They're gonna lose to the Marlins, so that's just a given. So, well, thanks guys. I appreciate you keeping the Cubs update somewhat
Yes.
legit there for me. You know, I was going all sentimental, losing yet another player, and you guys just dig it in, buddy.
Hey, but I was thinking this though, all those people that got those Jake Arrieta tattoos and stuff, you know, I don't know. I wonder how they're feeling right now.
Oh wow.
That was
That's
like,
you're in baseball for 2 years. That's
yeah, that was an amazing run. That was an amazing run. But I like him. I like Arrieta, and I like Darvish too. He's got some nasty stuff. And but obviously San Diego, we hope they fail. That's where we're coming right now. So
yes.
I think it's happening right before our eyes, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Tatis is about the only thing that could save him. If he doesn't come back, I think they're done.
yeah.
And the Reds are right there, man. And this leads us right into our transition. So Jimmy, man, like you just said, the Reds are coming. They're playing really good baseball recently, and they're right on the heels of the Padres. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like this division's going to be reached because the Brewers are so stinking good. So you got to catch the Padres. So what are your thoughts about the Reds, my man?
Well, the Reds are a fun team to watch. They really are. They have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent, and they're a fun team to watch. They have good, decent starting pitching. It's just the bullpen. The bullpen is a mess. It's a wreck. You know, if the Reds are up 2-1 going into the ninth inning, you're like, okay, how are they going to lose this one? It's terrible. But as it stands, you know, obviously I don't. You know, Milwaukee is too far gone. But San Diego's just sitting 2.5 back. They're 2.5 back, you know, of San Diego, and it looks like the Reds are up 14-5 now. So I got another couple runs, but they're 2.5 back of San Diego. I think they can catch San Diego, and I think they're exciting. And we just got to talk about Joey Votto. We got to talk about Joey Votto.
You definitely need to park right there just a minute.
I gotta hang this show up, man. This is getting bad.
We got to talk about Joey Votto. Okay, well, there's you mentioned there's breaking news tonight. You know what it is, right?
What's that?
Joey Votto's 2000th career hit.
Oh, really?
Tonight against your Cubbies. But if you want to look at Joey Votto, I've heard a lot of MVP talk with, you know, Bryce Harper and different things, but Joey Votto, at last look, he's inching up towards 300, 284, 26 homers, 75 RBIs. He got his 2000th career hit tonight. Went on a streak where he hit 15 homers in 22 games. Just raking, you know. And I think he's batting somewhere close to 360 since the All-Star break. Lifetime career 303. 321 homers and over 1,041 RBIs. So I think Votto at 37 is doing something that's really neat to see, with a lot of younger talent around him. They're meshing well. They play well. They're exciting. Jonathan India, Rookie of the Year. Can he win the Rookie of the Year?
Stay up there.
He's batting 284 now. He hit his 16th homer tonight, 55 RBIs. He brings a lot of flair to the team, and you know, and with Winker and Castellanos and Farmer and Moustakas, Suarez. I mean, they have the bats. I think they have the offense. I mean, but I was looking at the standings, and there's only three, maybe 2 or 3 teams that have given up more runs than the Reds this year. The Reds have given up 575 runs. Probably 574 is from their bullpen, you know. But it's a train wreck. They don't have one guy to throw out there. They're trying to mirror Garrett. They're trying I forget. I mean, they're throwing everything out there. They don't have a guy that can come and just shut it down. And if they did, yeah, I don't know.
What is the problem with Amir Garrett this year? Because that guy last year looked, or maybe the year before, looked like he was a contender for the closer job, and he has been awful this year. Any idea what's going on with him?
I don't know. It's almost like the Aroldis Chapman syndrome. You know, he can throw hard. He can do it, but it's just I think it's mentally. I mean, it's hard to close games. It is hard to get those last 3 outs, and they just can't find the guy to do that. And I feel like as a Reds fan, it's like you almost know that almost know they're not going to win it all. And so you start looking at these individual things. You're like, well, maybe India can win the Rookie of the Year, or hey, what about Votto for MVP? Or what about look at Castellanos and Winker starting in the All-Star game. Kind of hang your hat on these things. Being a lifelong Reds fan, that's what I always kind of looked at, and just hoping for one of those magical 1990 years, where it just comes together. And but I wouldn't count them out. I mean, I think if they can make the playoffs, Wade Miley, Trevor Malley, I think they have some upfront starting pitching that can maybe get them a series. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, they're coming for the Padres, and like David was just talking about, San Diego, they're losing to the Colorado tonight too. So
that'll be a game and a half.
Yeah, game and a half after tonight. So they're going to be right there, man. If Colorado can hold on here, then the top of the 8th, they're up 5-2. So you're close, man, and it's a good time for San Diego to be imploding. And Jake Arrieta is going to start once every 5 days, so that's not going to be good for the Padres either. So I'm just being honest. I love you, Jake, but it's brutal, man. He's got almost a 7 ERA this year. So yeah, they're fast.
But I do need for the record, since we're going live here recording, for the record, you got to give me your thoughts on Joey Votto.
Yes, DJ, Hall of Fame.
Now we've brought this up a little bit, David, and you are totally against the Joey Votto Hall of Fame spiel right now. I think he's got to get looked at. I cannot stand Joey Votto, as you both know. He makes my blood boil every time.
He's in that direction. My problem with Votto was he probably had the 10 dominant years, but it kind of went from like stud to dud, just like wham. And that was my problem, is the window that he had to be awesome was just not long enough for me, just to be honest with you. But hey, he's back. I think he could definitely sneak in there for sure. I mean, he's a run producer, or has been. Yeah. And so, I mean, you got to hand it to him. I like Joey Votto. It's just his last 3 or 4 years, however long it's been, it's just those have been bad years.
But I think if he can string 2 or 3 more years where he hits 25, 30 home runs, knocks in 80, 90, 100 runs, I think that could, and being a career 300 batter, I think that could go a long way. But I would say the jury's still out. Let's see what happens in the next 2 or 3 years. It could go either way, because this is an abnormal year that he's having right now. But if you string 2 or 3 of those together, I think you got to have that conversation.
I'll tell you what, if you want a good argument for Joey Votto, look at that on base percentage, man. It's
oh yeah,
it's unbelievable. I believe he's top 20 all time in on base percentage, which is ridiculous to think of. And when you look at the pictures of the people he's with for on base percentage, it's all black and white. If you know what I mean, those are old time players that he's up there in on base percentage with. There's no colored photos there, hardly any of those. So it's legit, man. And I'm the number one Joey Votto hater, and he's probably got about 900 of those 1,000 RBIs against the Cubs, which makes me even more mad. But it's legit, man. He's got a case on base percentages out of this world, which leads to scoring runs, which is huge. Knocking in runs and scoring runs is the name of the game. So he's there, man. It's going to be an interesting case, no doubt, with him.
Back to Joey Votto real quick. I just pulled up his stats real quickly. So wins above replacement says he's in. But here's the similarity scores. And I love similarity scores. Baseball Reference. Derek Lee, Brian Giles, Will Clark, Adrian Gonzalez, Lance Berkman, Tim Salmon, Kent Herbeck, Matt Holliday, Maglio Ordonez, Fred Lynn. 0 Hall of Famers. That's the problem. So I'm with Jimmy. Give me 2 or 3 more good years, and I'm on board. DJ, what about MVP this year?
Oh man, for Votto, I mean, he's a candidate. You guys are killing me, man. I don't want to say too much good stuff about him. This is put me in a bad spot here.
I love it. I love it.
I just want to know your opinion.
Oh man.
If they make the playoffs too, if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know who else I don't really know who the guy that you. Oh man, I'm gonna hurt myself here because you obviously in the American League, Shohei Ohtani's got nobody that's gonna touch him. You would think for a while there Tatis was running away with it, but he's been hurt. So man, I don't know.
Homers and RBIs than Bryce Harper. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
And Bryce Harper's a name a lot of people have been mentioning and Phillies have jumped into first place, and a lot of that's his doing too. So it'll be interesting, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch these races and see exactly how these all boil down to here at the end. But I'm not going to go too much into patting the old Joey on the shoulder.
I would say Jonathan India has a better chance to win the Rookie of the Year than Votto does to win the MVP.
You got to watch my boy Patrick Wisdom of the Cubs there. That's going to be his main contenders. Patrick Wisdom, he had an awesome season, so it'll be interesting to see those two battle it out here towards the end too. That's a reason to tune in is Patrick Wisdom to win Rookie of the Year. Another reason for you Cub fans.
Not going to happen.
All right, so transitioning real quick here. Chris Davis just retired, Baltimore Oriole longtime player here, David. I've got a few thoughts here as I break down a few numbers for you. So let's just say he signed a 7-year, $161 million contract in 2016. Now, here's a quick rundown of his numbers since 2016. 38 homers, 84 ribbies. 2017, 26, 61. 2018, 60, 49. 16, 49. 2019, 12 homers, 36 ribbies. Last year, 0 homers, 1 ribby. And he has not played this year. So out of all those years you signed him to a 7-year deal, he's roughly got about 100 home runs in the last 6 years, which is not what you signed up for as a Baltimore Oriole. Here's the numbers that'll blow you guys' mind. He's made $23 million from 2016 through this season. After receiving $23 million again in 2022, here's what's going to happen. He will receive $9.16 million in 2023 through 2025. Then he will get $3.5 million from 2026 to 2032 and $1.4 million from 2033 to 2037. And he will be 51 years old when they stop paying him. A la Bobby Bonilla. What a contract he worked out as well to secure himself and not spend everything, obviously, and be secured at least until he's 51. If he manages it right, obviously, the rest of his life and generations thereafter. But wow, Baltimore's on the hook for a long time for this guy who has done nothing for them since 2016. He had a really good year that year. I'll give it to him. 2 monster years in his career that he totally dominated in 2013, 53 bombs, 138 RBIs, and 2015, 47 bombs, 117 RBIs. But what a joke as far as that contract goes. He almost had 300 home runs, I believe, for his career. So I'm not knocking the guy's career. I'm just knocking the contract that he got signed to that he has not come close to living up to. So what are your thoughts, David?
I mean, this stuff wears me out. Get caught in this trap so often. So, I just don't understand how we got to the point where Major League Baseball contracts are guaranteed. I'm thinking in football and maybe even basketball, I'm not sure. They're not guaranteed. Football, obviously.
Football is not for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher sport to stay in it very long. And so I hate the fact that these are guaranteed. I also wonder if the major league players couldn't get more money up front if they weren't guaranteed. Making $40 million a year, knowing that you're not going to get that instead of 20 million. I don't know. That's probably an argument for another day. But long story short, I hate it for Chris Davis. He seems to be really a super nice guy. He's real community involved, and I also hate it for the Orioles. My question, I guess, with the Orioles is, what have you been doing the last 3 years? Have you guys seen their record over like the last 3 or 4 years? I think they've lost 100 games 3 straight years or something like that, not including COVID. I don't know what's going on over there, but really unfortunate. End of a good career. I mean, honestly, he deserved that contract, I guess you could say, leading into it, and injuries, whatever the case may be, he just couldn't put it together after that.
He did say he retired because of that hip issue. Just was never the same ball player after he had that problem, which is why he's walking away. Jimmy, any thoughts on Chris Davis?
Well, I don't know who his agent is, but if I'm a slugger in the league right now, I'm finding out who that agent is.
Yeah.
Sign me that contract, where he's 51 and he's still going to be making cash. But I don't know who's running the front office and all that in Baltimore. But to have 38 wins, and 38 and 78 going into tonight. I mean, how are you? I mean, you're 32 games back in your division. It's unbelievable. I don't know how a franchise can be like that. But Chris Davis, career 230 batter, 233 batter, struck out a ton.
Yes.
Had 2 good years. All it takes is 1 or 2 good years. Signed a big contract. He got the Bobby Bonilla treatment, which is crazy. Is Bobby Bonilla, is that still going on?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's nuts.
He's like in his 70s, if I'm not mistaken, or something crazy.
Long time.
That's incredible. But it's just that's a tough organization. Tough to be a Baltimore fan, I guess. So I find his agent. If I'm a up and coming slugger, Jonathan India needs to reach out to that agent, see what he can do.
That's a good point, man. So transitioning now to something that's very sad that recently happened. J.R. Richard, Houston Astros pitcher, late 70s into early 1980, passed away. Guy's 107 and 71 in his career, 3.15 ERA, a 22.2 WAR. Played his whole career with the Astros. Just recently went into their Hall of Fame for the Astros. Was 20 and 15 in 1976. Led the league with a 2.71 ERA in 1979. This guy was playing up until right around the time we were born, guys. And in 1976, he pitched 291 innings with a 2.75 ERA. In 77, he pitched 267 innings with a 2.97 ERA. 275 innings in 1978 with a 3.11 ERA. And in 1979, 292 innings with a 2.71 ERA. That is a man right there. And I don't bring up innings pitched a lot, David, as you know. But when you have an ERA like that, that's what I'm talking about, man. Holy cow for that stretch he had. And he was dominating the 1980 season, too. And they had just picked up Nolan Ryan, Jimmy, that year. They had Nolan Ryan and J.R. Richard, and they were going at it with Philadelphia in the NLCS and ended up losing that series to the Phillies, who ended up winning the World Series that year in 1980. But J.R. Richard was a big part of what they wanted to do. And had he been healthy for that series against the Phillies, that might have turned out a lot different there for the Astros there with Ryan and Richard at the top of that rotation. Would have been pretty nasty. But he died at 71. He had a stroke in 1980, actually, at the Astrodome that led to his career ending there, which is very sad. He was 6'8", threw 100 miles an hour. That's very intimidating. Player to say it seemed like he was 10 feet away from when he released the ball. He was so big and lanky. Devastating slider as well. He actually, I believe, in 1994 and 1995, his life kind of hit rock bottom. He ended up being homeless, actually. And then he met up and actually became a minister somehow and started helping homeless people. and started also reaching out to people about baseball as well. So one of the things that he got kind of helped out with is what JC Groves was kind of telling us about the other day when he was mentioning how he has the program that baseball has set up, baseball assistance team, where he gets to check on Otis Nixon every once in a while. That is what happens to J.R. Richard. He had done that as well, to have people set up to check on him and make sure he was doing okay, since he had gone through so much bad in his life. He'd gone through 2 divorces towards the end of his life as well. So he had a lot of demons in his closet towards the end of his life there. But it seems like he turned some things around for the good and had an amazing career. So, David, what are your thoughts, J.R. Richard?
Well, to be honest with you, J.R. Richard, before it happened, but looking back at his career, it's crazy to me. He won 18 games 3 times, won an ERA title, won 20 games 1 time, and only made 1 All-Star game. My question is, who are these pitchers that made the All-Star game ahead of this guy?
Wow.
But, I mean, honestly, he was probably on a Hall of Fame track.
Yep.
He really was. And before that happened to him, just really unfortunate. Went back and watched a little video. Super nasty, super nasty. Just a really sad ending to a really sad story, to be honest with you.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I didn't see any. I haven't watched any video on him, or I haven't seen that. But the intimidating factor, intimidating. I can't say that word. Intimidating factor being like a Randy Johnson, you know. But to have a career ERA hovering around 3, that's pretty nuts, you know. And I guess you could say it's just a workhorse. Just a workhorse. Like, you don't see that today. You know, you look at the lineups and of the games that are happened, you know, even say today, or you know, you look at, you know, there's so many pitchers pitching out there that have 5, 6, 7 ERAs. You know, it's just like, it's hard to find, you know, it's hard to come by, you know. Somebody has a 2 or 3 ERA.
Yep.
But yes, I saw he only played 10 years, you know, and he was selected, you know, 2nd overall in the 1st round, you know, out of high school. So had some time left on the table, you know. It's cut short, just like a lot of players. So, but yeah, I mean, big time pitcher.
No doubt about it, man. So rest in peace, J.R. Richard. Very sad to hear that news. One of the better pitchers in the late 70s there. We did not obviously get a chance to watch, but seems like everybody had nothing but great things to say about the end of his career, how awesome he actually was as a pitcher. Guys, Miguel Cabrera, one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time, is coming up on 500. His next home run will be 500. He's very close. He's also 49 last time I checked. Hits away from 3,000. 2951, 311 career batting average, 69 WAR. Great mentor to all these young Tigers too that are coming up. Obviously, he's lost a lot of it. He is not the same hitter he used to be. Age has caught up with him a lot. But man, can this guy play? And this guy's had an amazing career from 2003 to 2007 with the Marlins, and from 2008 to present with the Tigers. Just giving Detroit fans, you know, there was 22,000 fans there the other day at a home game for them to try to see 500. That's awesome. You know, Detroit needs something to go watch. You know, give them something to go watch a game when they're out of it as much as they are. You know, go chase Miggy's home run. What are your thoughts about the 500 there for him, David?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most prolific hitters of our era. I'll say this: he hasn't been good for a while. You know, we've talked about your old boy Albert Pujols. He's kind of been in that same camp, to be honest with you. He can't stay on the field. But yeah, I mean, he's a great player. He's been fun to watch. He was just an absolute monster, you know, in around 2010 in that area. He's a stud. I hope he gets 500. But anytime I hear the 500 home run mark, I can't help, DJ. I'm going to harp on this for just a second. I can't help but think about Fred McGriff.
I was just going to go there.
7 home runs away. We're talking about a guy, Miguel Cabrera is a surefire Hall of Famer, and he should be. Fred McGriff has 7 less home runs and is off the ballot. It's a travesty, absolute travesty. But I love Miguel Cabrera, great player. It's been fun to watch.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Miguel Cabrera, man, it was like just that classic middle lineup guy, and it's kind of I like seeing these guys get to these milestones, but it seems like it's so hard to get there, and it's almost a little painful to watch sometimes. I was watching him bat the other day, and I was like, man, I mean, guys just threw him like 3 straight sliders or something, and he's chasing it, and it's tough to see. I mean, surely he'll get there. He'll get there. But I don't like seeing these guys hang around, forever. But it's the same thing with Pujols. But I mean, Pujols is actually, he's put up some decent numbers in the time that he's been there in LA, and I think he's trying to get he's got a great chance at a ring. Talking about Pujols, and he's got a great chance to get to another milestone. But as far as Cabrera goes, I mean, that's one of the guys over the last 10 years that, man, he would hit for power, obviously, but he would hit for average. I mean, he would just his numbers, the way career 311, you kind of hate to see him hang around. Like, I hate to see that dip under 300 or something, because he's just trying so hard to get to 500, but he's phenomenal player, and I hope he gets to 500 and then hangs it up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of phenomenal, we'll transition real quick into Pujols too, real quick, just because it's brought to my attention that he's 87 shy of Barry Bonds for career home runs, which when you think about it, is not that many, but with his age, it is that many. It's a lot. And I took a poll for our show to see if anybody out there thought that he would catch Barry Bonds, and not a single soul out there thinks he can do it. I didn't even get one vote for a yes on that. I did get a lot of people saying that he will pass A-Rod for 4th all time and hit 700 for his career when it's all said and done. So I guess my question to both of you is, I think we both all agree, well, there's no shot at Bonds. But do you think he can get 700 and pass A-Rod, who is at 696? So on the way to 700, he would pass A-Rod. Do you think he will get to 700 passing A-Rod, David?
No. I just don't think there's enough of that. I don't think there's enough at bats for him. And I don't say that as like a Pujols hater or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but every team in baseball had a chance to pick this guy up and didn't. And so, I think he's serving a good purpose there with the Dodgers, kind of a pinch hitter and spot starter. I just don't think he's going to play enough to hit 700 home runs.
Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think we'll get there. If he was at 686, I think that even just at 10 home runs, I mean, because obviously he's not going to get it this year. And I think if say he gets a ring in LA and he's sitting on 680 or something like that, Pujols, the kind of player he's been and kind of person he is, there's no need for him to hit 700. 680 is fine. I would be shocked if he hit 700. I would say there's no way he gets to 700.
All right, so I did want to go to a different direction with this too, and I'll give you my opinion real quick. I think Jimmy made the point. I think that you nailed it on the head. If the Dodgers win the World Series, he's done, and there's no shot he'll hit 700. If he comes back, I think he will hit 700, and he will pass A-Rod eventually on that list if he plays into next season and beyond. That's the key, though. Dodgers win the World Series, I think he's done. I don't know why, like you said, he would stick around. He gets his ring. Go out on the high horse. That's what he deserves. It's awesome. But, guys, here's a couple things for you, too. And I just kind of wonder, because even A-Rod, who I can't stand, and I know David can't stand, 696, like, why do you not play one more year and go over 700? Like, I don't get that. I really don't. That is –
why? And this is the reason Pujols isn't going to make it, because nobody wants you. It's hard to tell yourself that, but that's where A-Rod got. The Yankees let him go, if I'm not mistaken, mid-season, and nobody wants you. And so think about this next year. Where could Albert Pujols play where he could actually get at bats? Think about it. Who's going to play him at first base? Nobody.
You would have to DH.
So what team needs a DH? That's not already, they don't have somebody that's already better than him. I mean, everybody does. I mean, that's just the cold hard facts, taking emotion out of it. He's not going to hit 15 home runs being somebody's pinch hitter. It's not going to happen.
But McGriff, man, that kills me too. Why are you not playing for now McGriff's situation is different to me because, A-Rod was already, he not a Hall of Famer because of steroids, but he already had the numbers. McGriff hit 7 more. How do you keep him out? So why didn't McGriff did I can't remember what at the end of his career is. Did he run into the same situation where nobody wanted him? Did he get injured? I mean, I have a hard time retiring at 493. I'd be a pinch hitter and hit 7 bombs and become a Hall of Famer. Like, I wish if I could talk to Fred McGriff, that would be the first thing I would ask him. Why did you not hit 7 more home runs? I mean, like by playing another year, not that he,
So here's the problem. 2004, he hit 181 with 2 homers and 7 RBIs.
Okay.
They're not going to pay you so you can get 500 home runs. You know what I mean? It's just not how it works.
Right.
So,
baseball is not that game where it's a charity. It's not a charity thing. Like this game will kick you out when you're done. I agree with that 100%.
Well, I have the solution. He can go to Baltimore and sell tickets and DH. There you go.
There you go.
Who holds to Baltimore so he can hit 700?
Yeah. Get that trending.
All right, guys, real quick. I wanted to go over, I'll be real fast on this. I got number 13 of the current 30 ballparks. And I looked at my map and I'm like, only number 13. Well, I got to think Yankee Stadium. I went to the old one. I went to the old Braves Stadium. So it kind of throws you back when all these teams are building new stadiums. So I'm at 21 total stadiums for only 13 current ones, if that makes sense. So Target Field was last week. We all went, all the family. Real quick, Kirby Puckett's statue was awesome. As you two know, he's my favorite player of all time. Got to stand there with the statue. Got to stand there with his big thing that talks about how much he loved playing center field. He's got an awesome quote there. I'll have to post pictures of that all later. The Target Field, man. And I've always had a thing for the Minnesota Twins because of Kirby and everything. So, it's a good one. It really was. I was really impressed with it. I didn't know what to expect. They did a great job on it. That Metrodome that they used to have was a piece of garbage. It was terrible. So they did a really good job at that field. Enjoyed the experience in Minneapolis. It was a lot of fun. There was no riots there, thank God, or anything like that going on at the time we were up there. So it was good. Everything was good. We stayed downtown. Got the whole Target Field experience. But number 13 and 21 got checked off the list there. So it was a lot of fun. Good experience. You guys ever get a chance? That's another one that's close to you, Jimmy. So you're going to get a chance to run up there. Check that one out. I highly, highly recommend it. So a couple more things here to talk about. Go ahead, Jimmy. Did you have something to say on that one?
I'm saying in 2 weeks, we're going to hit a new park. Our boys, we got to track down some more baseballs. In 2 weeks, we're going to hit Coors Field.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll be out west, and we're looking forward to that.
Oh, man. So, Jimmy, how many fields have you been to total?
Man, not a lot. Been to tons of Reds games, been to Wrigley. Just probably less than 5, really.
You went to Comiskey with me too, right?
Yeah, I've been to Comiskey.
A couple others, maybe.
Yeah, it's not very many. I mean, we're just staying local, but we'll hit Coors Field. That'll be cool.
Oh man, that is cool. That'll be a lot of fun. You have to let me know how that goes for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So Brock Holt just threw a 30-mile-an-hour pitch in a game, guys. The slowest pitch ever recorded by the StatCast era until yesterday when I broke it at 29 miles an hour. So go check our Frenemies YouTube page out, and you will see me break Brock Holt's record right after he broke the record. It didn't last long. So I got that record, guys. I'm just
Love
breaking
it.
records left and right. I don't know what to say.
I know. I love it. I saw that, and you were saying before when I went live, you were saying that was one take.
One take.
One take.
I believe it.
You need to prove that. I don't know how you can prove that. But one take.
The comments under that post were amazing. Steve Shelton wins the internet. I was trying to pull up the quote here. I don't want to mess it up. Anybody, just go look at the comments. They were awesome. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He said that I don't even want to mess it up either, so I won't quote him.
I'm amazed you're able to throw it harder now than you could in your playing days. So leave it to Steve. Much respect there.
Oh man! On a serious note, though, if you guys saw Brock Holt throwing the other day, I about peed my pants, man. That was so fun. It was just no joke, like up and down, like. And some of these guys, the hacks they were taking, it was like softball. It was hilarious. And then he snuck in a 77-mile-an-hour one, so he's just kind of like, "Hey, I've got this," you know. But then he went right back to the 30s, man. It was hilarious to see these position guys sometimes pitch. The Cubs have seen a lot of position players pitching here the last couple weeks, and it's pretty funny. But Brock Holt, that's funny, 30 miles an hour. We'll see if somebody can break that in the near future. So Jimmy, your nephew Tyler Gilbert throws a no-hitter for the Diamondbacks the other day. So David, what are your thoughts on that, man? His first career start, amazing.
Yeah, just unbelievable. I think you said the last time it happened was like 1953 or something.
Yep.
Something crazy. If I'm not mistaken, just kind of a journeyman guy too, like kind of out of nowhere. So yeah, pretty cool.
No doubt, Jimmy.
Well, to have the last name Gilbert, you know, we were on the way back from a baseball game, and my son's in the front row, and he's in the seat next to me, and he's checking out the scores and everything, and he told me that this guy named Gilbert just threw a no-hitter, and I'm like, man, that's cool. He's like, it's his first career ever start, and I was like, no way. And to me, that's unheard of. That's to me, that's bigger than your first at bat hitting a home run. That's happened, I'm sure, a lot more than 4 times. But to throw a no hitter, I wonder how many walks he had. I wonder how close he was to a perfect game.
3 or 4, right?
3 or 4. But wow, still, I mean, to throw a no hitter, yeah. I mean, where do you go from there? You know?
Yeah, it's all downhill.
That's the problem.
I want to see what his second start looks like. I want to see what he does there.
David, maybe you should pick him up in the Chicago League fantasy league since your team's so bad.
Ruining fascinating. Are you in that league, Jimmy?
No.
Listen, it's epic. The fall of my team. I used to kind of dominate that league, if I'm bragging on myself a little bit, and currently I'm 85 games out. 5. So all my team has got injured, and every guy that I pick up gets injured, and now I'm out of moves.
Tyler Gilbert, there you go. Yeah.
Oh man, pick him up, Tyler. You know what, man? A couple of things that were really cool about that. Did you see his dad's reaction? That's what it's all about, man. Father, son. His dad was just losing it in the stands. You know, lost it. Unbelievable. Very cool to see the emotion just raw out of his dad there.
Hey, it's good to see some Gilberts in the MLB pitching. There's a couple now, you know.
Yeah, there's more than one, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Representing the name, my man. So the other 3 guys that do it real quick: Theodore Bretstein in 1891.
Yes.
Columbus Jones in 1892, and Bobo Holman in 1953. David?
Never heard of him.
The famous David quote, never heard of him.
These are guys that pitched that were possibly alive during the Civil War. So there you go.
There you go.
Unbelievable, man. So Tyler Gilbert may end up being the guy that is on that list that 100 years from now, people are like, who in the world was Tyler Gilbert? Oh, man. That's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. It's amazing. So good for him.
Real quick, guys, before we get into the standings here and wrap up the show, Ramon Laureano was suspended 80 games for PEDs. Here's my thought on this. The guy makes $557,000 a year. We'll go into arbitration the next 3 years and become a free agent. It's that magic pill we talk about, David. If you take this magic pill, you can have a season like you did in 2019 where you have 24 homers and 67 ribbies and bat 288. Or you can fall out because you're not that good and you don't take it and you don't make the money, he's in that spot, I think. And that's what I think happened here. I really believe that, he's trying to get his career going, and any way that he can cheat to make more money, he's trying to do it. And it's going to cost him a little bit here. See if he can rebound. What are your thoughts, David?
Yeah, I mean, anymore, I think you got to be pretty dumb to do this. I mean, honestly, they're testing for it now, and you're going to get suspended. So, if I'm mistaken, didn't he say it was something he ate or something like that? And, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't hold water with me either.
No.
I get it. On one hand, it doesn't make it right, but I get it. There's the pressure of, man, a lot of guys just don't get much of a shot. And let me tell you guys an example. A guy in my church just got called up. He got called up to the Marlins. We didn't get to talk about this yet, DJ. He gets called up, which is pretty awesome. Our whole small town is buzzing, and he gets sent down the next day, no AB, designated for assignment, off the roster in one day. It was the day of the trade deadline, actually. And, man, what a gut punch. I mean, honestly, everybody in our community, what a gut punch. And you think, if a pill will get me there, even just for a minute, would you do it? And I think the younger part of us says, yeah, I probably would. So feel sorry for him on one hand, but on the other hand, you just got to know you're going to get caught. That's just the way it is right now.
Jimmy?
Yeah, and the A's, just another blow to the A's, and just with, I even think with the Kyler Murray thing, how the A's all excited to get Kyler Murray, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to the NFL, but it's tough. But hey, his career's not over. I mean, it's half a season. Hopefully he'll get better and be better from it, and still young enough to make a difference. So, not the end of the world.
Yeah, no doubt. So the AL East, Tampa Bay has taken over, David. They're 3.5 up on the Red Sox. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Red Sox have fallen off a little bit, 3.5 back now, just ahead of your Yankees by 2 games. 5-5 in their last 10. The Yankees are 7-3 in their last 10. They're playing really well outside of that bullpen. Toronto has fallen off a little bit more, only 4.5 back in the wild card though, so that's what's keeping them going. And they added a deadline too. And then we already talked about Baltimore a lot. They are 0-10 in their last 10, by the way, which is atrocious. So, David, what's your thoughts about your AL East here and how it's been going the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I think the Red Sox made a huge mistake not adding at the deadline. Chris Sale coming back is obviously going to be big, but I think the Red Sox are in deep trouble, to be honest with you, and I think they know it. I think they're feeling the pressure a little bit. The Schwarber ad was weird. Schwarber's a good player. I get it. They didn't really have anywhere to play him. They had to play J.D. Martinez in the outfield the other day to get him in the lineup. They didn't add any pitching. Huge mistake. The Rays are going to be tough to overcome by anybody. And I'm really surprised that the Blue Jays are falling out. That one, I was pretty scared. I am pretty scared of the Blue Jays, to be honest with you. Still to this day, they got Barrios now. Robbie Ray seems to have found it. They're one of the better hitting teams in the league. But I think the Yankees are going to sneak in, DJ. I think it's all starting to come together.
Well, Boston getting Chris Sale back is definitely a huge shot in the arm for them, for sure. There's no doubt about that. He pitched well the other day in his first start in 2 years. If you saw the press conference afterwards, he talked about taking life for granted when he had everything going for him. He pitched the last out of the World Series, and then he got a huge contract, and then everything was taken away from him just like that. And we know how that's how life goes as far as a lot of things with Christian walk as well. And it happens in baseball too in the same perspective, and it did to Sale. And he said it humbled him a lot, and he pitched well in his first start. So pretty awesome there, man. This division is shaking up to be a lot of fun here down the stretch. Jimmy, what do you think?
That's a great division.
Yeah.
With Toronto playing almost 10 games above 500 and sitting in 4th place. That's a good division. I would say the Yankees. I believe the Yankees are coming. I believe the Yankees will make the playoffs. I can see them chasing down Boston. And I think, honestly, the Yankees in the playoffs is good for baseball. So Now the Yankees losing in the playoffs, that's always good for baseball too. But getting them there is good. But I like the Yankees not to win the division, but I could see them, winning win the wild card and coming over, jumping over Boston. It's a good division though, possibly the best in baseball.
Absolutely loaded. So speaking of a not good division, the AL Central is there, and the White Sox have run away with this, which makes me really angry. Cleveland is in second place, 10 back, David, and Detroit is 11 back. The Twins are 7-3 in their last 10, but way out of it. Kansas City's at the bottom. So the answer to this trivia question is the Cleveland Indians, who have the lowest payroll in baseball this year, which blew my mind when I was looking that up about the Cubs the other day. The Indians don't pay anybody, and they have the lowest payroll in baseball. So what in the world are they doing there, David? I'm a little confused by that. How good of talent that they've had run through there. They don't want to pay anybody. And that's why we see with their pitchers, they just throw them all away. And now I kind of understand it more being at the bottom of the payroll. So that kind of woke me up to as to what's happening with the Indians a little bit. So crazy division there. What are your thoughts, David?
I think the Indians are trying to play the Rays game, which is keep those guys on controllable deals. Once they start getting expensive, get rid of them and turn them into two players. Honestly, I really respect what the Indians are doing. I think they're going to be good shortly. They're not that far away, and they're a team to keep an eye on. And DJ, I will say this about the AL Central. The greatest thing about the Central is every day Audrey asks me if the White Sox won or not, so I can ride about it. So if nothing else, that keeps me interested.
Oh, me and Audrey, we got a bone to pick, man. Next time I see her, I'm gonna get her. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on this stupid AL Central?
Well, it's time to talk about the ALS. No.
Yeah.
But the White Sox, obviously, this division's over. But I do want to correct you here, DJ. It's the Cleveland Guardians. I just want you to get used to that,
Racist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I was offended by that. So just kind of got my mind off of everything else, the Tigers and Twins and Royals. I'm not worried about them, I guess.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome. AL West, the Astros are 2.5 up on Oakland, which Oakland's kind of closed the gap a little bit here recently. They're playing some good ball. 8-2 in their last 10. So the A's are playing good baseball recently here. And the Astros have been kind of average at 5-5. Seattle's still in it a little bit, 8 back in the division, 5.5 in the wild card. Really weird trade deadline for them. I thought they should have done more, and it was really weird. The Angels are now below 500, which is not good, and the Rangers are atrocious. So, David, what are your thoughts?
Man, the Astros are hard to handle, and I didn't even realize how good Oakland has been lately until I heard them talking about on MLB today. Starlin Marte has kind of set that team on fire, kind of went a different direction. Andrew Chafin's been good in the bullpen, so right now, I think Oakland's going to be the one that falls, though, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be the one that falls out, and I'll stick with my prediction. I think the Astros are going to be in the World Series.
I agree. Jimmy?
Yeah, Astros, I mean, it's after everything that went on with them, the last couple of years or whatever, it's nice to see them bounce back, and Altuve, and just the bats that they have, and it's good. It's good to see. I think I like the Astros. Oakland, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been following too much Oakland, but they're in the lead for the wild card right now. But Yankees are coming, so we'll see. But Houston,
good to see Altuve do well, though. That's not good.
he spits really well. He has amazing at the plate. He's got an amazing routine there. But Houston, yeah, they're coming. I think they'll go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah,
no doubt. So switching over to the NL East, and I've been waiting on this all year to happen because this is what we talked about before this season started, that this was going to happen. The Braves are in first place, and let me tell you guys that trade deadline, I got to hand it to them, man. They went for it. They could have said, we're kind of falling out of this and gone the opposite way. They went for it, and it paid off already. They are in first place over the Phillies, 8-2 in their last 10. the Phillies are playing good ball too. They were in first place earlier in the week, but have fallen off a little bit at 6-4 in the 10-game stretch. So we got a good race going on here. The Mets are who we thought they were. They are falling off a little bit here. The Mets are struggling mightily. They are one game above 500, guys, and they're in danger of falling below 500. When they were ahead in the division for, I believe, 90 days and are finally moved out of there by the Phillies and the Braves. The Marlins have taken over fourth, and the Nationals fell into the cellar. We kind of expected that after they traded all their stars away, that would happen. So, David, to the NL East, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's not how they drew it up, but I think the Braves are going to put everybody in their rearview mirror now. The Phillies could definitely challenge the poor Mets, and they dealt with all those injuries and just couldn't hang on. But I think the Braves are going to be a team to watch down the stretch. I mean, it's hard without Acuna, but like you said, the guys that picked up the deadline are picking up the slack.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I think it was a huge blow to lose Acuna, and I think what would have been, man, if they could have had him in the lineup and had him every day. But they battle, and Ozzie Albies he's a stud, and Freddie Freeman, and they got the bats, they got the arms for sure, and outside of looking at the NL, outside the NL West, with the Giants and Dodgers, I think the Braves are right there. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in the World Series.
That's DJ's pick to click right there.
That is my pick to click. And, man, to think like you're talking about Acuna, even Ozuna, man, these two guys are out of the lineup for the entire year. You had, obviously they don't go get the three guys they just got at the deadline if those two are in the lineup. But, man, you got so many good players on this team, and you replace the two that are out with really good players. So they can do it. I really still believe in them, and this team is definitely a team to be reckoned with. So to the NL Central, where the Brewers have just ran away, man. It seems like they never lose. They're 7-3 in their last 10. I hate it. David called this. He called the Brewers winning this division, and I thought he was crazy. I thought the Cubs were going to win it. The Reds are 7.5 back of them, but as we finish here, looking at the scores here, I believe that the Reds are 2 back currently in the wild card is what it says right now. That may change to a game and a half if the Padres end up losing, which they did. So, yeah, it says 2 back in the wild card, which is awesome for the Reds. They're right on the heels there. The Cardinals are 10 back in the division and 4.5 back in the wild card, so they're not out of it either, which is crazy to think. At a 61-56 record, 4.5 back in the wild card is all they are. So that's not out of it by any means. Then you got the Cubs and Pirates, which I won't talk about anymore. But David, what are your thoughts on the Central?
Dude, I hope the Reds sneak in. I've got so many friends who are Reds fans. I just think it's cool. I think it's good for baseball. I know a lot of people expected, including me, the Padres to be the team to beat, but injuries are preventing that from happening. And so I'd love to see the Reds sneak in there. And, man, the Brewers are extremely dangerous in the playoffs. From the top of their rotation and the back end of that bullpen, if they can just get some runs, man, the Brewers are going to be a team to watch.
Corbin Burns struck out 10 Cubs in a row. That was fun to watch the other day, too. Broke a record. We're breaking records like crazy, Jimmy. What are your thoughts on the Central?
Obviously, I hope the Reds get in. That would be phenomenal. I think for baseball, just to see a small market team make playoffs, and that'd be a dream. I hope they do. I hope they make the playoffs. But Milwaukee, with the playoffs are different. If you can set up your starting rotation at the top, your one or two guys, if you can put them out there like that, like Milwaukee can do it. Milwaukee's going to be dangerous because of their arms. They're dangerous, and from the top to bottom, and they can close games, and just the Reds. They're going to have to win games 12-2. They can't win 3-2 games. And so that's going to be tough. It's going to be neat to see, but I think they'll pass San Diego. And I think the Reds make the playoffs, as a wild card.
Here's a thought for you, Jimmy, and I wonder, you kind of brought this up with the closer situation again. This just popped into my head. What about the guy throwing 102 in your minor league system, Hunter Green? Why not come up in September and see if that can be the guy that can take the closer role by the horns?
Yeah, I was just looking at that Hunter Green. Here he is. I saw he's throwing at 104. He's got some control issues. I wonder. I think, but you know what? That'd be a great call up. To bring him up and add some excitement and maybe shut down. Maybe be like the guy from St. Louis. Started his career just gassing everybody. It'd be something different. They definitely don't have a closer. It's closer by committee, and they definitely have no nasty boys down there. But Hunter Green, it would be worth a look, and I'll be interested to see what they do here come next month, see what they do. But I don't know if he's ready. But I saw a game where he's throwing 104 and he struck out. I mean, he's just striking out guys left and right, but he also gave up like 3 or 4 bombs, so I don't know. That's worth a shot. And I was just talking about that the other night, Hunter Green and getting him up. So we'll see. But they need help in the bullpen. I don't expect them to, because you have to have pitching in the playoffs. And I think they'll sneak in, but I don't know if they'll make any noise.
So to the NL West, the Giants, man.
Yep. They're for real.
They're like the Brewers. They don't lose.
Yep.
8-2 in their last 10. I got to admit it. I was completely wrong about them. I think everybody missed on this team. 76-42, which is unbelievable. The Dodgers can't even catch them with that all-star team they have. They're 4 back. At an 8-2 in their last 10 games as well. The Dodgers haven't gained any ground on the Giants. They just can't, because they keep playing so well. And the Padres are falling off a little bit here. 5-5 in their last 10. They're 10 back in the division and leading the wild card now by 2 over the Reds. Colorado's out of it, and Arizona just got a Gilbert no-hitter as their highlight for their season. So, but man, I'm not giving their manager any credit, but I am giving the Giants credit, man. Buster Posey and the boys, he's had an awesome season. Crawford just got a 2-year extension for them. They got Chris Bryant now. They are just unbelievable and so good at baseball, David. And the Dodgers can't even catch them right now. And to be honest with you, I don't know if they will. And I think, you think on paper the Dodgers will beat everybody and they'll get there. But with the way the Giants have been playing, man, I don't know anymore. We're getting close to the end here, and they haven't faltered one time from the top. So,
yeah.
And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I find myself with the Giants. I just think it's cool. You wouldn't think as a Yankee fan that I would hate stacked teams like I do. But when the Dodgers made all these moves, it just made me hate them worse. And so I'm pulling for the Giants. I think it's cool. Most people can't even name their starters. You know what I mean? They guys like Donovan Solano playing big roles, Wilmer Flores. It's just cool, man. So, yeah, I'm pulling for the Giants.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I think everybody going in, especially after the trade deadline too, are like, man, Dodgers. And with those arms, I don't know what Trevor Bauer, I don't know if he's gonna be back at all. Nope. Or is he done? Whatever. But yeah, but okay. But the arms they have, with Buehler and Scherzer and Urias, and man, they're stacked, and their offense. I don't know. I would say, if I'm gonna go out on a limb, I would say the Dodgers will represent the NL in the World Series. San Francisco having a great magical year, but we'll see. I like the Dodgers in that one. So, and I like San Diego to falter and the Reds overtake them.
Here you go.
Yeah. Yes, you do. So I got one more story for you real quick, and we'll wrap this up, man. This just popped in my head too. I was watching MLB Network. Just go back to that horrific trade deadline, David. So when Chris Bryant went to the Giants, it was reported by one of the guys on MLB Network that we got Joey Bart and Lamont Wade Jr. back in that trade. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah.
It reported that. And so I'm going, okay, Joey Bart. I love Joey Bart, big #1 prospect for them, Lamont Wade. And then he just pulled the rug right underneath me and goes, nah, there's a number 9 and 30 prospect that you got for him. And I was like, who are these guys? Like, what? So that was just more of a dig into the chest that they got reported wrong. And I thought we were bringing the man to the city here, Joey Bart, to be a catcher / first baseman for the Cubs. And that, once again, obviously. Well, Jimmy, man, this has been a blast. I could literally talk to the two of you about baseball for 24 hours straight, not get bored with it. But we do have to wrap it up here. So thank you so much, Jimmy, for coming on.
Just
really
quick funny story. We were at the Reds game last couple weeks ago. We walk into the Hall of Fame museum, and my boys, they had some bobbleheads in there. They had, and my boys were like, who in the world are these guys? It was Glenn Braggs, Hal Morris, Billy Hatcher.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh man, these are the legends of 1990, and it was cool to see that. And the Reds fans are crazy. It's awesome. The Hall of Fame, the history is there, and it's awesome. I love it. So go Reds, Cubs, breaking records. I love it. So should be fun. Now, if I'm gonna call the World Series right now, I'm gonna call the World Series. I'm gonna say Dodgers and Yankees. There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate that pick for the Yankees. It's not the White Sox, so I'll at least give you that. So
There you go.
awesome, man. Well, Jimmy, once again, thanks again, buddy. And David, as always, it's been a pleasure. To all our fans out there, please like our page, Frenemies, and everybody have an awesome night. Thank you.
See you.
You guys.